All right, well, hey everybody, welcome to the Book of Acts and our 2023 Bible reading plan. Let me start off by first apologizing for some technical difficulties that just kept the Gospel of John from getting uploaded correctly. So we fixed that now, and here we go. Hey, so as we hop into it, we're in the Book of Acts, A-C-T-S, and I know that sounds a little weird. Maybe you're thinking, like, what's that mean? Like, why is it called Acts? Well, real simple. It's often referred to as the Acts of the Apostles, and that's fitting name for it. But I prefer to think of it a little more nuanced. It's the Acts of the Holy Spirit through the apostles. The big character, the one who is moving so much forward throughout this narrative here, is the Holy Spirit. And now, as you dive in there, you're going to find out, well, it kind of picks up at a weird place. Well, it picks up where the Gospel of Luke left off, because Luke wrote Luke and Acts. And so this is a really wonderful, it picks up right where he is. Jesus is about to be ascended into heaven, and he says, wait for the Holy Spirit, and you will receive power from on high, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, to the uttermost parts of the earth. So that's the thrust. That's kind of the idea, and that's what's happening here. Now, there are a bunch of stuff. I mean, we could spend a long time talking about some of the different themes here in the book of Acts, but the real central question, there are three. And the first is, okay, how does this gospel form the community? And how does that community relate to its heritage? Remember, they're coming out of a Jewish background. These are all Jewish background believers. And how do they relate to their former religious identity? And we see there's a problem. There's some pushback here. There's especially pushback there in Jerusalem. The Jews, while some of them believe, most of them do not. And they do not like the believers there. It's a real touch and go situation, especially with those first 5 chapters. Especially getting into chapter 6, where you see Stephen's chosen. He preaches a powerful sermon, and he is killed for his faith by the Jews. That's a problem. It's going to be an issue. But then we see that it picks up again at the end. But there's also another thing. All right, now you've seen this group of believers. Now, after the stoning of Stephen, they are dispersed throughout there. Not the apostles, but just normal, everyday believers there. They are dispersed throughout the ancient world there. The question is, how then do they relate to non-Jews? How does this look? And you see this especially, there's a famine relief visit that Paul deals with there, Acts chapter 11. We also see, ultimately, it culminates in Acts chapter 15, where we have what's known as the Jerusalem Council, and they say, look, we got to get this together. Guys, we all got to get on the same page here. And they realize, look, God's been opening the gospel to the Gentiles. Why are we putting barriers in their way? And so there's that. It's a beautiful theme. It's amazing how it works out there. But also, this final theme, how does the gospel continue to go forward? And one of the themes that you see just throughout is that in spite of opposition, in spite of things coming, the gospel goes forward. It kind of matches that Acts 1:8. We see you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, to the uttermost parts of the earth. But you pull that to Acts 28, and we find that Paul, even though he's in a prison, or even though he's under house arrest there in Rome, something amazing happens. He's there for 2 years under house arrest, preaching the gospel unhindered. So the beautiful part is, yeah, Paul's in chains. Paul's just struggling there, but the gospel is not chained. The gospel keeps going forward. The Holy Spirit continues to work there. So there's a lot. I wish we had like a ton more time, but there's a quick snapshot. We see this gospel changing lives, moving forward, and ultimately moving on mission in spite of opposition, in spite of things here, things there. They keep going forward. So there it is. Again, wish we had a ton more time, but just let me know. What do you see as you kind of deal with those issues, you look through them? Just tell me. You can drop some comments there on our group there in Church Center, and I'd love to hear there. All right, guys. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.